Solomon was the wealthiest man who ever lived. He had seen everything money could do. And when he sat down to write about debt, he did not say it was risky or unwise or something to avoid. He called it slavery. 6 words that should stop every one of us in our tracks. The borrower is slave to the lender. And today we are going to find out exactly what that means for your life right now. Proverbs chapter 22 verse 7 says, "The rich rule over the poor and the borrower is slave to the lender." Solomon did not use gentle language. He did not say the borrower is inconvenienced or the borrower is stressed. He said slave. Because that is what debt does. It takes your future income and promises it to someone else before you have even earned it. Every month you pay a debt, you are working for someone who is not God and not you. Point 01. Debt steals your freedom before you notice it is gone. When you borrow money, you make a decision today that controls your tomorrow. Think about how debt actually works. You enjoy something today and pay for it with your future income. Debt does not just cost money, it costs options. And options are freedom. Point 02. Debt is normalized, but the Bible never calls it normal. The world says everyone has debt. Car payments, mortgages, credit cards, student loans. It is just part of life, but the Bible never once celebrates debt. It never calls it smart or necessary or unavoidable. Deuteronomy chapter 28 describes lending to nations and borrowing from none as a sign of God's blessing. We have been so conditioned to accept debt as normal that we stopped noticing the chains. Point 03. Getting out of debt is an act of worship. Romans chapter 13 verse 8. Let no debt remain outstanding except the continuing debt to love one another. Paul was not just giving financial advice. He was making a spiritual statement. When you are debt-free, you are free to give, free to serve, free to go where God calls you without a monthly payment holding you back. Paying off your debt is not just a financial goal. It is reclaiming the freedom God intended for you to walk in. Point 04. God's design is for you to be the lender, not the borrower. Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 12. You will lend to many nations but will borrow from none. This is God's original financial design for His people. Not surviving, not just getting by, lending. Having so much overflow that other people come to you. That is the covenant promise. And it starts with the decision to stop accumulating debt and start aggressively eliminating it. The road from borrower to lender begins with one deliberate step in the right direction today. God's design for your finances is freedom, not bondage. Share this with someone carrying the weight of debt who needs a biblical perspective today. Subscribe for episode 5 of Biblical Money Lessons.